There is something millions of people experience every morning, but very few are willing to talk about openly. You wake up expecting to feel refreshed and ready to start your day, but instead, the first thing you notice is your abdomen. It feels bloated, heavy, and tight, almost as if there were an inflated balloon inside you that simply cannot release the pressure. Then comes the trip to the bathroom. You hope this morning will be different, but the same thing happens again. You cannot have a bowel movement, or very little happens. You sit there waiting, straining, and becoming increasingly frustrated. Eventually you get up, but that heavy, uncomfortable feeling is still there. And perhaps the most exhausting part isn't even the physical discomfort. It's the thought that stays with you throughout the day. Here we go again. Another morning without being able to go normally. Another day dealing with pressure, bloating, and the feeling that your body simply isn't working the way it should. If you're over 50, someone may have already told you that this is just a normal part of getting older, that your digestive system naturally becomes slower with age, and that you simply have to accept it. But there's something important I want you to understand. Frequent difficulty having a bowel movement doesn't mean you have to accept it as an unavoidable part of aging, and you shouldn't have to spend every morning fighting against your own body. Your digestive system needs the right conditions to function properly. And for many people, simple changes in diet, hydration, and daily habits can help support more comfortable and regular bowel movements. I'm Dr. Andrew Parker, and here at Vital Health Insights, we're going to look at why your digestive system may become slower over time, which warning signs deserve attention, and what natural, practical steps you can consider to support better digestive regularity. If you appreciate straightforward health information that can help you age more comfortably and confidently, stay with me because we're going to begin by understanding what's really happening inside your body. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep learning together and take better care of our health with clear, honest information. Let's begin with something fundamental that many people misunderstand. Your intestines are not simply hollow tubes waiting for food to pass through. They are active, muscular organs that constantly move through rhythmic contractions, pushing digestive contents forward. This natural movement is called peristalsis, and it helps carry food through your digestive system from the moment you eat until the waste is eventually eliminated. When that movement slows down, problems can begin. Digestive contents move more slowly through the intestines. As they sit there longer, the body absorbs more water from them, leaving stools harder, drier, and more difficult to pass. This can become especially common after age 50 for several reasons. You may be moving less during the day. You may not be drinking enough fluids. Your diet may contain too little fiber from whole foods. And certain medications can also slow intestinal movement without you realizing that they are contributing to the problem. Put those factors together, and you have a recipe for bloating, trapped gas, constipation, and that persistent feeling that something simply isn't right in your abdomen. But this brings us to one of the biggest mistakes people make. They assume the answer is to force the intestines to work harder, so they repeatedly turn to laxatives whenever they become uncomfortable. Some laxatives can certainly provide short-term relief when used appropriately, but repeatedly relying on them without addressing the underlying cause is not always the best approach. Think of it like constantly pushing someone on a bicycle instead of allowing them to pedal. The goal should not simply be to force the process. The goal is to support the body's natural ability to keep things moving. Your digestive system doesn't need to be punished. It needs the right support. Before we get into the practical approach, I want you to recognize 3 signs that people often overlook or dismiss as simply part of getting older. The first is persistent bloating. If you wake up feeling relatively comfortable, but your abdomen becomes noticeably swollen or tight later in the morning, pay attention to that pattern. Bloating can have many causes, including constipation, changes in gut bacteria, certain foods, swallowed air, and digestive disorders. It isn't automatically a sign that something is seriously wrong, but persistent or unexplained bloating deserves attention rather than being ignored. Many people immediately blame whatever they ate the night before. Sometimes food is certainly involved, but bloating can also reflect how efficiently your digestive system is moving and processing its contents. The second sign is frequent or painful trapped gas. I'm not talking about occasional gas. Everyone experiences that. I'm referring to recurring pressure, discomfort, or cramping that makes you feel as though air is trapped inside your abdomen and cannot move comfortably. The sensation can occur in different areas. Sometimes the discomfort seems to shift from one side of the abdomen to the other. Sometimes it sits beneath the ribs or moves toward the lower abdomen. Gas can be uncomfortable and, in some cases, surprisingly painful, but persistent or severe abdominal pain should never automatically be blamed on gas. If the pain is intense, sudden, or accompanied by other concerning symptoms, you need appropriate medical evaluation. The third sign is the feeling that you haven't completely emptied your bowels. You go to the bathroom and manage to pass stool, but when you stand up, you still feel as though there is more left inside. That incomplete feeling can become frustrating because it follows you through the rest of the day, creating discomfort and making you worry about your next bowel movement. Constipation can involve more than simply going fewer times per week. Hard stools, straining, difficulty passing stool, and the sensation of incomplete evacuation can all be important clues. If you regularly experience one or more of these problems, don't simply assume that your body is failing because you're getting older. Your digestive system may be telling you that something needs to change. And the answer isn't necessarily an aggressive cleanse, purge, or product that promises to empty your colon overnight. I want to be very clear about something. Your body is not a dirty pipe that needs to be scraped clean. You will find countless advertisements online for detox drinks, powders, supplements, and expensive cleansing programs that claim to remove mysterious toxins supposedly stuck to the walls of your intestines. Be skeptical of those promises. Your body already has sophisticated systems for processing and eliminating waste. Your kidneys continuously filter your blood and help remove waste products through urine. Your liver processes countless substances every day and plays a major role in metabolism and detoxification. And your colon has its own important job. It absorbs water, helps form stool, and exists alongside a vast community of microorganisms that interact with your digestive system in ways researchers continue to study. These gut bacteria are not simply unwanted passengers. They are part of the complex environment that supports normal digestion and interacts with the body's immune system. So instead of thinking about your colon as something that needs an aggressive clean-out, it makes more sense to focus on supporting the normal processes that help your digestive system function comfortably and consistently. When you rely on harsh cleanses or strong laxatives, you're not actually washing your intestines clean. You may be irritating the digestive tract and creating a cycle where you depend more and more on external stimulation. My approach is different. The goal isn't to wage war against your colon. It's to support its natural movement, reduce factors that contribute to bloating and gas, and create the conditions your digestive system needs to work more comfortably on its own. And one of the simplest habits to consider is a morning glass of warm water. The important part isn't adding lemon, vinegar, salt, or some expensive powder. The real idea is simply how and when you drink it. After several hours of sleep, your digestive system has been relatively inactive. When you wake up, drinking a moderate amount of warm water before breakfast can provide fluid and may help establish a regular morning routine. For some people, having fluid in the stomach can contribute to the natural gastrocolic reflex, the normal signal between the stomach and colon that can encourage bowel activity after eating or drinking. You don't need to force anything. Try roughly 10 to 16 ounces of warm water after waking, before breakfast, and give your body some time to respond. Some people may feel the urge to use the bathroom within the next 20 to 30 minutes. Others may not. Your response will depend on your hydration, diet, medications, activity level, and individual digestive pattern. The important thing is consistency rather than expecting an instant result on the very first morning. Now, warm water can be a simple foundation, but it isn't the entire strategy. One food that can be particularly useful for people struggling with constipation is the prune. You can soak several prunes in water overnight and have them in the morning as part of your breakfast routine. Prunes can support bowel regularity for two important reasons. First, they provide dietary fiber, which adds bulk and helps support normal movement through the digestive tract. Second, prunes naturally contain sorbitol, a carbohydrate that can draw water into the bowel and help make stool softer and easier to pass. That's not a miracle or a detox effect. It's simply how certain components of the fruit interact with your digestive system. Start with a small serving and see how your body responds. If several prunes are too much for you, reduce the amount. If you tolerate them well but still need more help, you can gradually adjust the portion. The goal is comfortable regularity, not diarrhea, cramping, or an emergency trip to the bathroom. Another option some people enjoy is fennel tea after a meal. Fennel has traditionally been used to support digestion and may help some people with feelings of gas or abdominal discomfort. Think of it as a soothing addition to your routine rather than a treatment for constipation. 1 cup after a meal may be enough. There is no reason to drink large quantities simply because you believe more will work faster. And there's another simple technique worth considering: gentle abdominal massage. When your abdomen feels full or uncomfortable, light massage may help some people relax and become more aware of the movement in their digestive tract. Using your fingertips, make slow, gentle circular movements across your abdomen. You can follow the general path of the colon, moving upward along the right side of your abdomen, across the upper abdomen, and then downward along the left side. The pressure should remain comfortable. This isn't deep tissue massage, and you should never force the area or press through significant pain. If you have severe abdominal pain, a hernia, a recent abdominal operation, or another medical condition that could make massage unsafe, skip this technique and speak with your healthcare professional first. Now, let's talk about something that is absolutely essential if you want fiber to work properly: hydration. You can drink warm water in the morning, eat prunes, and add high-fiber foods to your meals. But if you spend the rest of the day barely drinking fluids, you're making the job much harder for your digestive system. Water helps keep stool softer. When your body doesn't have enough fluid available, more water may be absorbed from the contents of your colon, leaving stool harder and more difficult to pass. But here's where many people make another mistake. They hear that fiber is important, so they suddenly eat a huge bowl of dry bran, a large amount of seeds, or several high-fiber foods at once. Then the bloating gets worse. Why? Because increasing fiber too quickly, especially without enough fluid, can increase gas and abdominal discomfort. That's why I like to think in terms of smart fiber, not simply more fiber. Chia seeds and ground flaxseed can be useful additions to a balanced diet, but introduce them gradually and make sure you're drinking enough fluid. Oatmeal is another practical source of fiber, particularly when it's part of an overall balanced breakfast, and you're staying adequately hydrated throughout the day. Vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains can also contribute valuable fiber. The key is to increase fiber gradually, rather than suddenly overwhelming your digestive system. And there's one more factor I want you to consider, because it is often overlooked completely. Many adults over 50 take medications that can quietly contribute to slower bowel movements. Certain strong pain medications, some antidepressants, iron supplements, aluminum-containing antacids, some blood pressure medicines, and even excessive calcium supplementation can contribute to constipation in some people. That does not mean you should stop taking anything that has been prescribed to you. Instead, if your constipation appeared suddenly or became noticeably worse without an obvious explanation, bring it up with your healthcare provider. Ask whether any of your medications or supplements could be contributing, and whether there are safer alternatives or adjustments worth considering. And there's another factor that many people don't connect with their digestive health: stress. When you're constantly worried, tense, or anxious, your nervous system stays in a heightened state of alert. Your body begins prioritizing functions associated with dealing with that stress, while digestion can become less active. For some people, that can mean slower intestinal movement and more constipation. That's why relaxation isn't simply a luxury when you're dealing with digestive problems. Giving your nervous system opportunities to settle down can be an important part of a healthy routine. So, let's turn everything we've discussed into a simple plan you can begin today. Day 1. The night before, place about 4 prunes in a glass of water and allow them to soak overnight. When you wake up, slowly drink approximately 10 to 16 ounces of warm water. There's no need to rush. Afterward, move around gently for a few minutes. Walk around your home, stretch lightly, and give your body some time to wake up. When you feel the need to use the bathroom, sit comfortably and avoid excessive straining. Give your body time to respond naturally. Then drink the soaking water and eat the prunes. If gentle abdominal massage feels comfortable for you, you can include it as part of your morning routine. For breakfast, choose something simple, such as oatmeal with fruit or plain yogurt with properly prepared chia seeds. Throughout the day, keep your water bottle somewhere visible. Taking regular drinks can make it easier to stay hydrated instead of waiting until you become very thirsty. After a meal, you may enjoy a cup of fennel tea if it agrees with you. For that first day, try to limit heavily fried foods, large amounts of refined flour, and foods or drinks with a lot of added sugar, and add some gentle movement. Even a short walk after one of your meals can help you become more active and support regular daily habits. Day 2. Repeat the same basic routine. If 3 or 4 prunes worked comfortably for you, there is no reason to keep increasing the amount, simply because you think more must be better. Keep focusing on hydration, regular movement, and gradually increasing fiber. Pay attention to how your body responds rather than forcing a particular result. Day 3. This is when some people may begin noticing a difference. Their abdomen may feel less full. They may experience less gas or pressure. And using the bathroom may start to feel less stressful. But remember, everyone's digestive system is different. If you haven't noticed improvement yet, don't immediately assume the routine has failed. Take an honest look at 2 things: how much you're actually drinking throughout the day, and how much you're actually moving. Those are 2 common lifestyle factors that can influence bowel regularity. Over the following weeks, continue using hydration and consistent daily habits as the foundation. During the second week, pay attention to which foods seem to make your bloating or gas worse. For some people, large amounts of refined carbohydrates, sugary foods, carbonated drinks, or certain dairy products may contribute to digestive discomfort. But don't automatically eliminate entire food groups based on someone else's experience. Instead, notice your own patterns. During the 3rd week, gradually introduce more fiber-rich foods while keeping your fluid intake adequate. That can include oatmeal, fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains. If you're sensitive to raw vegetables, cooked vegetables may be easier for you to tolerate. Chia and ground flaxseed can also contribute fiber, but introduce them gradually and use adequate fluids. By the 4th week, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. You begin to recognize which foods your body handles well, which foods tend to leave you feeling bloated, how much fluid helps you stay regular, and how important daily movement is for your overall routine. The bathroom should no longer feel like something you have to think about with anxiety every morning. But before you try any home routine, I want to give you an important safety reminder. There are situations where constipation should not simply be managed on your own. If you develop severe or persistent abdominal pain, blood in your stool, unexplained weight loss, repeated vomiting, fever, or constipation that is progressively getting worse, seek medical evaluation. Those symptoms can sometimes indicate an underlying problem that requires professional assessment. And if you have a sudden change in your bowel habits that doesn't improve, particularly if you're older or have other medical conditions, it's worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Don't assume every digestive symptom is simply part of aging. At the same time, if what you're experiencing is the more common pattern of occasional constipation, bloating, gas, and difficulty passing stool, building healthier habits around hydration, fiber, movement, and regular bathroom routines may give your digestive system better support. You don't need to change everything overnight. You need consistency. Start today. Repeat the basics tomorrow, then continue building on them. Over time, your body may respond to that consistency with a more predictable routine. And when your digestion becomes more comfortable, you may also find that daily life feels easier. You're not constantly thinking about abdominal pressure. You're not planning your day around whether you'll be able to use the bathroom. You may feel more comfortable moving around, eating, sleeping, and simply going about your normal activities. That is the real goal, not a dramatic cleanse, not an overnight detox, not a product that promises to empty your colon in a few hours. The goal is to support the normal functions your body is already designed to perform. So, take a moment today and ask yourself, what is one small change I can realistically maintain? Maybe it's drinking water more consistently. Maybe it's taking a short walk after dinner. Maybe it's adding a serving of vegetables or oatmeal to your meals. Maybe it's reviewing your medications with your healthcare provider if your constipation has recently changed. Small steps can be much easier to maintain than extreme routines. And please remember that this information is educational. Your individual situation may be different, especially if you take several medications or have an existing digestive condition. Speak with your healthcare professional before making significant changes to your diet, supplements, medications, or bowel routine. If this video helped you understand something you've been experiencing but couldn't quite explain, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what you've noticed most. Bloating, gas, difficulty passing stool, or that frustrating feeling of incomplete emptying. And if you found this information useful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may benefit from it. Sometimes a simple piece of useful information reaches someone at exactly the right moment. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, pay attention to what your body is telling you, and remember that getting older doesn't mean you have to ignore persistent digestive problems. I'm Dr. Andrew Parker, and thank you for watching Vital Health Insights. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.